Welcome to the Prosperity Profiles Podcast, sponsored by Prosperity Profilers, LLC. They'll help you look prosperous, feel prosperous, and be prosperous. We hope you listen often, and if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe. Now, here's your host, four-time #1 best-selling author, speaker, and business coach, Holly Porter.
Hello and welcome everybody back to another day at the podcast. Again, I always have fabulous guests. I know you hear me say that all the time, but I really do. I know great people and they are fabulous. So today I have another one of those with me. She's also part of the 40/40 Rules, Wisdom from 40 Women Over 40, Volume 2. We had Volume 1 come out in 2017, and now November 29th, we will have Volume 2 of the 40/40 Rules. Now, this is a question and answer book, and so 40 women all answer the same questions, and you get to hear all of their wisdom in that. So we'll be launching on November 29th. So watch for that, because it'll be 99 cents for one day only, and you'll be able to go in and grab yourself an electronic copy, and then the physical books will be out about the middle of December, just in time for the holidays. Yay. So back to my guest. So Jeanette Armstrong, we were high school buddies. I think even junior high. Yeah, junior high. I moved in 8th grade to Utah, and Jeanette and I went to high school, all the high school together. And then she took off and married her high school sweetheart, which has been almost 30 years now. Yay, yay. And
okay, correction, not my high school sweetheart. He married a different Jones girl. But yeah, my husband, I met him in Dallas.
So you moved to Dallas and then met him.
Yes, there we go.
Okay. Well, okay. So that's kind of our little history. Sorry about that. I got that totally wrong. I don't know why. I guess I would have known him if you'd have met him in Cedar.
That's right.
But I graduated as a junior, so we didn't actually get to graduate as seniors together, because I was married by the time you guys graduated. So anyway, she's been a realtor in Dallas since 2000, and she's a top producer. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. So welcome to the show.
Yay, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so excited. We reconnected, and I went to the eWomen conference last summer, and Jeanette and I got to sneak away and have lunch together, and it was so fun to reconnect. And I shared with her, that I had this project going on, and she was very reluctant. And so when I asked her later again, I was like, no, I really think you should be in this. Then she jumped on board. I was so happy.
Yes. I know I'm so busy. I just thought I can't do one more thing, but I am so excited about this. I can't wait for the book to come out.
Yeah, and I hear that from people all the time. However, really, you did it in about an hour, because it's just answering questions, right?
Yeah. Easy peasy. Yeah.
That's what I tell people. Yeah, it's like, no, really, it won't take that much time. And the last two in the series, we have the 40/40 and the 30/30, were not only bestsellers, they were #1 international bestsellers. So we're going for that again.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So everybody support us when we launch that. That would be really helpful. And so we can get that for all these other 40 women, so they can all be bestsellers as well. So share with me, okay, so real estate, let's go there for a minute. You've been doing it since 2000, raising, 3 kids during all this. So what was your biggest challenge, do you think, back then? Now your kids are all adults, but then what was your biggest challenge with that?
My biggest challenge, I guess I'll back up. I got my license on my baby, his first birthday. And so the biggest challenge was just balancing time with a newborn, a new baby, and his older sister. So, but I had friends that would babysit for me while I took classes, because in this business, as you know, Holly's also a realtor, there's, it's not real world stuff that you learn in school. So when you get your license, you really don't know anything, and you have to, follow other agents and train and learn. So that was my biggest challenge. But you know what? It's been the biggest blessing for our family all these years, and I've absolutely loved every second of it.
Well, and I know you're really busy you know, in your church callings and activities as well. Like I know your values is easy to figure out, you know, your family, your church, you know, integrity. I know those are, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but
Oh, thank you. Yes, thank you.
yeah. And Jeanette has great energy. And so everyone I attract to the book has great energy, or they wouldn't be in it, because it's a very, you know, they have nothing to do with religion or politics, because that's a no, right?
Right.
And I still attract a lot of very beautiful Christian women. And so you'll find that as you read the book, there's very high values in there. And we even asked that in this particular series, you know, that's their top 3 values. And I will also ask always their 3 must reads books and their favorite quote or mantra. Do you remember what you put down for your 3 must read books? Because I know you love self-help.
The scriptures, number 1. And another self-help book I love, Mark and Angel Hack Life. They're a husband and wife team that do inspirational blogs. They have a couple books, Getting Back to Happy. I just finished up that one. And then let's see, what was my last book I did? I can't remember what I put for the 3rd one. So, but
this time around, there a lot of you put, you know, the Bible or scriptures, and I love that, because and a couple people asked me if that was okay, and I'm like, absolutely, that's okay. If that is what you're recommending as your top 3 must read books, then of course, you know. So a lot of people were very hesitant on certain things to put, but I think this one's a little more Christian than the last one, but I'm not opposed to it at all, because like I said, it's all about wisdom, and that's your wisdom, and that's what you want to share with the world. Then you have every right. So who am I to say no, right?
Thank you.
So when you became a realtor, like what intrigued you? Like what made you want that? I mean, was it being an entrepreneur, being your own boss? Like what was that for you?
Okay, this is the honest truth. Here's the story. So my husband's sister, it was a realtor, and she bought our best friend's house that lived on our street. Our friend was moving and she bought it. And Frisco was a very small town 18 years ago, and my husband and I kept referring his sister, a lot of our friends moving to the area. And so my husband said, my sister's making all this money from our referral, you know, from us. Why don't you get your license? And so his mom and I actually went to real estate school together, had a great time. It was fun, you know, sharing that with her. And that's kind of how I got in. And Frisco, no matter where people live across the country, you've probably heard about Frisco, Texas, this city, you know, that was 30,000 when I moved here. Now, you know, 300,000. I love it so much. I can't even say how wonderful it is here. So.
Well, they have some good Mexican food. I can vouch for that.
Yes, you can.
Give me chips and salsa and popcorn all day long.
Yes.
Those are
so that's kind of why I got started. And then, you know, it's a job that every single day is different. I never get bored. I love meeting new people. I love sharing this part of their life. You know, buying a home is one of the biggest purchases people will ever make. And it's just fun to be right there holding their hand alongside them. And it's been great.
So who are your most of the people you work with? Are they families, or are they investors, or a little bit of mix?
I mostly work with families. I have a handful of investors I work with, but mostly just families buying their first time home, or, you know, upsizing. So,
Or downsizing.
Or downsizing, yes.
More people downsize here just because they come here to retire. So
yeah.
Downsize into 3,000 square feet.
Yes. We are spoiled, right? We're so spoiled.
We are. I know. I wonder how, you know, I was raised in like our first home, I think in Las Vegas was like 900 square feet. And then we moved to like 3,000 square feet. But we also had 9 kids in my family. So I know we did. We got, and then my mom and dad built a 8,000 square foot home, you know, they're in Utah. Gee, none of us even lived in it. I mean, yeah, way too big.
Are they still there in that house?
No, so this guy bought all the property around him, and then they sold the house to him a few years later. And it was 8,000 square foot brick home, I might add, with a 5,600 square foot garage connected to it. The guy tore down the house because he could, he's rich, He tore down the 8,000 square foot house and kept the garage. I was like, oh, what? Anyway, I couldn't even tell my mom for a long time because it was like her dream home she built, and she did the plans herself. And, you know, and that's something, you know, you notice people think their stuff's worth way more than it usually is because we have that emotion connected to it. And so, you know, the value is way higher. And so, like, really, people really need to hire a professional to come in and give you the honest truth, because
that's right.
reality sucks sometimes.
It's so true. It's so true. Yes.
Yeah, and it's not, that's not a fun position for us to be in. I like when they actually hire an appraiser and I can blame it on them.
That's right. Yes.
But, you know, we have data, you know, it's so easy to get nowadays. And, you know, the economy is so much better than it has been. And so we have comps, we have things. And so, like, we have it at our fingertips, where I like that. That's the MLS is also to blame, right? Because we can just send them the data. It tallies it and figures it out for us. And it's like, well, that's what it says. You know, I didn't.
That's what that's the market.
I agree with you. It's probably worth so much more. And this is what, you know, it's worth. And really, a house is only worth what someone's willing to pay for it. I mean, that's what, anyway. And you know what struggled for me is seeing lately the people taking advantage of the rents, because, you know, a lot of people had to go and start renting, and the rents have just gone outrageous, especially here in Utah. We're in a college town, and I don't know how anyone can afford it. Like, you're better off to buy a house right now than you are to rent, because rents have gone.
Rentals are like more expensive than a house payment.
Yeah. And people don't realize there's so many programs to get you into a home now. You know, you're not having to come up with, I mean, some you hardly come up with even 3%. Some are 3%, some are 5%, you know. If you're an investor, it's 20%. And there's ways to get around that as well. So I think sometimes it's just getting that education, that if you don't know, right, it's good to just get educated on that.
Yes.
And we do have to do continuing education every 2 years for us. How about you?
Same.
Yeah. So when we get our license, ours is 18 hours. What's yours? You know?
Gosh,
ours is 12.
Honestly, it's been so long. I can't even remember what it was.
Yeah.
So every 2 years now is 30 hours. But I can't remember how much it was when we started.
No, I meant now. So 30. Ours is only 18, and it went from 12 to 18. Wow, 30.
You know what? I'm actually, you know what? Oh my gosh, how embarrassing.
That's all right. You probably have, it's probably coming up.
I think there's 18 too. Yeah, so no, the first 3 years is 30, and then it goes to 18. Oh geez, sorry, I'm half asleep. Sorry.
Ours went from 90 originally to 120. It went up 30. So, and brokers, I think they're still 120. So, which is just basically a repeat of it again. But yeah, so anyway, it's a good industry. And I love that the economy is good. You know, I've been flying a lot lately, different places to speak. And I've noticed the airports are full, every airplane. Well, I did have a whole row to myself on one of the flights, but like, they're full. People are busy. Things are just, I love it. I love when things are, people are happy when the economy is good, right?
That's right. That's right. Yes.
Unless you maybe live in Seattle where it's depressing. I don't know. I love Seattle. I just couldn't live in the rain all the time. Yeah. So what's your favorite type of people maybe to work with? Like what just lights you up when you get that kind of a client?
That's a good question. I do a lot with millennials. They're so much fun. Probably, yeah, they're probably my favorite. I love older people, you know. I don't know. I like everybody. I like everybody.
Well, you're such a kind person, Jeanette, that honestly, you get along with everyone. I mean, you probably
I try.
I know. You'd probably come home crying if somebody said boo to you, you know, because you're tenderhearted and you're sweet. And so I can see anybody wanting to work with you. So if anyone listening knows of anybody that, you know, is looking for something in Dallas, or moving to Dallas, or wants to invest in Dallas or Frisco or surrounding areas, because, you know, I say Dallas, but there's so many little towns around it.
Yeah.
That's how all the big cities are now, right? You can't even tell the difference of them. You just drive and hit all of them.
Well, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
So So share a little bit about like maybe your area. Let's talk about that for a minute, like where you live. I know you said how much you love it.
All
What do you
right.
love about
So
it? What's
I
awesome?
yeah, so the area I live is in Collin County. And I guess what is so fantastic about this area is we have really, really great schools. And these kids that come out of here, their education, they're so smart and very confident and competent. A million activities. It's very kid friendly in this area. Any sports, music, anything at all that your kids are interested in, there'll be a great program for them in the schools or out of the schools or both. Very clean cities. Crime rate is like really, really low. Just, it's just nice. Great place to grow families, raise families. And
Yeah.
so, mhm.
Okay, so since your kids, let's jump into that. Since your kids are raised, like, what's your best way to stay in touch with family? Like, and they don't like how far away or what away are all of them?
So my oldest is in Phoenix, and we talk on the phone, text. That's how we stay in touch. My middle daughter, she's a law student in Las Vegas, UNLV. Same, we call or text. And then my 19-year-old is in Peru, so we email. He's
Yeah.
on a mission for our church, so that's how we stay in touch with him. And he's doing great. He loves it. Yeah.
It's hard though to have them all gone, I bet.
So
God.
hard. Oh my gosh, it's been an adjustment. It's been an adjustment. I don't like it, but I'm, trying to change my attitude, and it is what it is. So
Yeah.
I'm getting on with my new happy and just figuring it out. So
Well, that was a good book to read then, right? When you referred and recommended.
yes.
Yeah, well, I'm blessed because our kids aren't too far away, and my grandkids at least all live like 45 minutes away, all 7 of them. So like that's nice because once a month we can have a family dinner and I get to see them all. Got to have them paint pumpkins on Sunday, so that was fun.
I'm so jealous. And you have got to be the best grandma in the world.
Oh, well, I feel like I'm a young grandma, and so I mean, think about it. Your kids, you don't have any yet, and I already have 7. It's like I
No, what the
started
heck?
4 years. I'll tell you,
That's amazing, girl.
well, you always think of a grandma, they're retired and they're home and they
Yeah,
get to hang out with
yeah.
grandkids all day. And it's like, I don't see retirement in my future, like for probably another 25 years. So
Right.
grandkids will all be grown by the time I'm retired.
Well, you're
That's the grandma, I guess.
yeah.
But they're super fun. But I'd be sad if they lived all that far away. Although it gives you an opportunity to go visit them.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
And it's always
And
fun
with
when
technology. Oh,
yes.
go ahead.
Yeah. No, I love traveling. I love visiting them. Mhm.
Yeah. Well, it's so much easier. It's so nice when they came out with FaceTime and then Facebook came out with their video streaming and now now you have Zoom, you can use that and there's so many ways we can actually talk to people and record people and I mean, don't you think this is a great way to like maybe get one of your grandparents on and video them like this, talking and asking them questions and
Yes. Perfect.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so I love technology for that reason. Well, is there anything else you'd like to share we've got a couple more minutes that you'd like to share that's on your heart today or something that you'd like to, any of the listeners, do you have any words of wisdom for us or do you want to give us any sneak peeks in your chapter or anything like that?
I think the book is going to be so fantastic. I think it's always fun learning from other people, one of my best friends is several years older than I am, and I love her so much, and she'll tell me things like, Jeanette, I wish I would have done this different, or I wish I would have done this. And I listen, and I've known her for a long time, and I try to learn from her experience. And so I think that those who read this book are going to love just, seeing what works for other people. And it's going to be great for everybody. Great resource. And I think people will love it. So
The way we've got it set up, so somebody like the one question I did repeat that was in the last, it's been in all of them so far. It was a financial question, and it was what's the best financial advice you've ever been given, and what's the best financial decision you've ever made. And I've left those in all the books because people at all levels all can answer that somehow. And it was interesting, Jeanette, because somebody asked me, like, I have never been financially successful. Like, how can I answer that? And I said, the best financial decision you made could have been when you got your first paycheck, when you got a job and you were able to go make a car payment or pay rent or buy groceries. I mean, I said, put yourself like, what would you tell a homeless person that has nothing? And they hadn't looked at it in that perspective. And really, it's all about perspective. And I love that these books attract a lot of different cultures of people because they're from all over the world. This one doesn't have as many world authors as I've had before. And yet they're still so diverse. We've got doctors, we've got stay-at-home moms, they're just all over the place. And so that's what it's about, is wisdom. And I'm pretty sure any woman that's lived 40 years or more has a lot of wisdom.
I'm pretty sure too. Yes.
Yeah. So the questions are really different. So you can go and read, the first question in every chapter, and just maybe that's the answer you want, is the financial answer. I'm like, I want to see what 40 women say the best decision they ever made in finance, or whatever. So anyway, I think it will be something that's of value. I know the last ones have helped a lot of people along their way. We've had great reviews, and I'm so blessed that you're in it because you have a lot of wisdom, and I love that you're kind. We need kind in it too.
Thank you. Thanks for asking me to be in it.
Yeah. And remember, listeners, that Jeanette will post her information, her contact information, with a bio here below. On the link, and so you can check that out. If you want to, what's the best way they can get a hold of you, Jeanette? Let's give that on the audio, and then we'll also post it. But what would be the best way?
So I guess to connect with Facebook, they can message me through Messenger, probably would be a good way, or my email.
Spell those out for us.
Okay, so, my email, let's do Jeanette. It's JeAnnette Armstrong @remax.net. That's my, that's my business, but that one's fine. And then just on Facebook, it's Jeanette Jones Armstrong, and they can connect with me and message me through there.
I about called you Jeanette Jones today. Don't we do that when we were high school friends? It's like, gosh, no. I know, but it's sad because you moved away, and I mean, gosh, it's been over 30 years since we graduated, and it's like we haven't been in that good a connection. So I'm so happy that we reconnected because I've always loved you. So
I meant to come to Dallas for 1 year and work, after high school, and 1 year turned into 2 years. Never did I think I would marry someone here and live here forever, which I have. But honestly, I love it here. Yeah, it's hard being really far from my family. That part's hard, but I have had a great life here and really enjoy this area.
Oh, that's good. Well, I love visiting there, and I get to come every year for my conference. So we got a lunch date again in the summer.
Yes. Awesome.
I'll have to send you the date.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and you may want to look into joining eWomen. eWomen's a great network there as well. So that might be something you'd enjoy. Well, okay. Thank you, listeners, for listening to us again. Jeanette Armstrong, and we'll put her contact information there. So I hope you got some wisdom out of today's show, and we will see you next time on the podcast. Bye for now. Bye.
Thank you for listening to Prosperity Profiles Podcast, sponsored by Prosperity Profilers, LLC, helping you look prosperous, feel prosperous, and be prosperous. We hope you enjoyed our time together, and we'll visit again soon. You can learn more about Prosperity Profilers by going to hollyporter.com.